Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy, howdy, Sudella here, and welcome to an online ladder battle featuring the Dwarfs versus the High Elves. And this is an updated build since the last time I played the High Elves against Wyvern, and I was actually quite some time ago. I think that was the last time. Maybe I played since. Anyways, he crushed me. And just with a straight up Swordmaster and 5 groups of White Lions, and and a couple of bolt throwers. Like, it was just, I just didn't have enough to deal with what he had. So I thought, well, we're going to get some miners in this build, put them out front, and I'll have some miners in the back. But really, I'm going to beef this up with Thunders. Because Thunders are armor piercing, and they can do a lot of damage to incoming Swordmasters and stuff like this, and they are pretty dangerous. I also got 4 gyrocopters with brimstone guns, and again, this is actually stresses my micro. I can sort of handle 1, but 4 is very, very difficult. And then I went pretty cheap. I've got 5 Dwarf Warriors for my main line, just to hold things. And for my leadership, I think I've got the strongest possible leadership in terms of cost. Rune Lord with the Rune of Wrath, Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and 2 Rune Smiths with just the Rune of Wrath and Ruin to sort of hit on things, slow things down, and keep things going. For my opponent, he has 4 Illyrian Reavers, both on my flanks. And he does, for his main army, has 3 Eagle Claw bolt throwers, and obviously they can be used for sniping Dowie artillery, and they're pretty good for that way. He only has 3 White Lions of Trace, so it's a pretty light front line, and he does have 4 basic archers, and these are the cheapest kind. I think they're 475. He has a Prince on a dragon, and he has only the Dragon's Breath and no abilities, but he does cause fear and terror, and obviously has pretty good stats, 64 melee attack, 58 melee defense, and has a Mage of Life on a Chariot. And this Mage of Life is got 285 weapon strength, but it is bonus for his infantry of 30, and he just has regrowth for the vigor and the heal, and Earthblood for a 30-minute radius of a heal, and he does have Life Bloom, so every time he casts, everyone gets healed. So we'll start this battle, and it takes me a while to, like I always say, I'm just sort of an average general. It takes me a while to sort things out and where things are, so I was going to go up there, and then I noticed these guys, so I thought, I'll get some shots in. And you look, 1 shot, 3 models. It's actually really efficient. Then I noticed these guys are over here, so I'm going to go for them and try and get my brimstone guns on them again. 3 models. These brimstone guns are really good against cavalry. Like, that's 3 models, and now 6 models, and they're just going to keep shooting. You can see how fast they're doing damage to these Illyrian Reavers, so I'm very, very happy with that. Boy, doing a great job against the Illyrian Reavers. So obviously he has the advantage with the artillery, so I need to come up, so I'm just going to push up and sort of try and figure out where I'm going to be, and I'll get some shots here onto my miners, and that's what they're there for, just to take a few shots. Any shots they take on the miners, I'm happy to let that happen. I'm not sure what I was doing with these Thunders. I might have been thinking about aiming them a specific way. But anyways, I'm following off the Illyrian Reavers, and I'm trying to be sneaky. I'm going to chase him over here, and then I'm actually just going to park my gyrocopters here and shoot at his Mage of Life. Is that where can I shoot there? I don't know. I was going to get really, really close. I just don't want... I want to be not so obvious and bring up my troops here, and sort of, it's okay that I'm getting shot. I'm bringing these guys around, and try and bring them around the back and get into a good position there. These Illyrian Reavers are going to come after my miners, so I'll take my miners back. I'm going to try and shoot at them as they come. You can see I give them order, and so he just actually pulls back with both, and he's sort of mucking up my line. Meanwhile, he's microing hard in the front. I'm getting shots against that Mage of Life with the gyrocopters there, and I'm bringing these guys sort of around. I really should have stayed maintained on these Illyrian Reavers, but I will change my targets. And I'm sort of bringing up... This is really, really difficult. Like, this stresses my limited micro to the absolute maximum to try and bring up my troops and get them going. I know I could probably do a lot better in terms of how I organize my troops, but I'm really trying now. These guys are coming around. I'm trying to manage that so that I can get some shots on him. So I think I'm going to put a Rune of Wrath and Rune on those Illyrian Reavers and try and get some shots over here as my line slowly pushes up. Yeah, here comes my Rune Lord. So I'm going to get the Rune of Wrath and Master Rune of Wrath and Rune, and now I can sort of take some shots on these guys. And I also got the Rune of Wrath and Rune. They're down to 9 speed. They're not going anywhere. We're really going to be able to take easy shots on them. They got 22 models, and you can see they're just withering. They're down to 14 models. We're getting shots in with these Thunders. They're down to 6 models, and off they go. They are going to keep routing, and they still got the Rune of Wrath and Rune. So I have managed to get rid of them. I'm pulling up here, and I don't want to take this engagement right here, so I'm trying to be sneaky. And I went to the engagement, and then I pulled back. So I started the engagement, and then I pulled back because I want to be on the flat ground instead of up here. I think that was a mistake. You know, I should have just engaged. I've got over here now. Who's being sneaky? I forgot about my gyrocopters, and it turns out he's a prince on a dragon who kicked the snot out of him. These guys are gone, so I routed those, and these guys are actually over here. I think I'm going to try and find some good targets in the White Lines of Trace, and I'm going to find. I'm going to try and actually make some bombing runs. So grabbing your gyrocopters, and then you can grab them down here, and then actually position them directly on top of the archers and get a bombing run is what I'm trying to do. So I've got my troops going up here and engaging. I'm getting shot up non-stop by these guys, and so here we go. I think I'm going to try and get these gyrocopters ideally placed for a bombing run, and here we go. 1 bomb goes, and 2 bombs go. And then I'm going to go and get these guys placed for a bombing run, and I'm just trying to position them exactly perfectly over top. There we go, and we'll get some bombs off with them. And I think I only clicked it once. I'm actually, oh no, the dragon's landing, and I'm like trying to figure out where I'm going to go with everyone. And I've got this big mess of troops and a bunch that aren't engaged. So here's where I really should have just got up and engaged, got up and engaged, got up and engaged. And started attacking. Now he's taking his archers and shooting my gyrocopters, which is fine. I'm focusing everything. I'm going to focus everything on his prince very soon. I think I've got my gyrocopters. Where are they shooting? I just have them on fire at will. But I am going to actually figure out. I'm going to go for this prince because the prince is in a bad position. And there we go. So now we're sending everything after that prince, and we're going to put a ton of damage in on the prince. Unfortunately, I haven't really finished off the Mage of Life, but look at the damage we can put in with our Thunders as we focus in on that prince. He's down to 2,800 health, and he is starting to get very low on leadership, down to 2,400 health, down to 2,300 health, and he notices, and he's like, oh, we better get the heck out of Dodge. You can't. It's hard to run from a gyrocopter, though, obviously, but now this sort of my troops are all in sort of a big mess. These Illyrian Reavers have made a charge. This Mage of Life has got around the back and got healed, and now is charging up on my Thunders. And I still have these units I have not engaged yet because I've been controlling these damn gyrocopters. They're really, really intensive to try and manage them, and these guys are doing nothing. I could have them both up here. I could stop all of this fire right now. But I just have not been able to do so. So I'm bringing my gyrocopters back. I'm going to try and deal with this dragon, and I've got my other Thunders are routing. They are going to rally up sort of in the second line, and I can bring them back. The Illyrian Reavers have come in. Dwarf Warriors are going to be able to handle them reasonably well, and now I can start shooting on that Mage of Life again. And these gyrocopters, Brimstone guns do a pretty good job. Finally, I've realized I got to get them involved in the fight, and I'm going to send them up, you know, because like he's going to come in with these Reavers, but even miners are going to do a great job on the Eagle Claw Bloat Thrower. I am bringing gyrocopters here, I believe. Okay, we're trying to get rid of that Mage of Life. Make sure that Mage of Life keeps routing. One of the beautiful things about the gyrocopters is I can just chase that Mage of Life off the battlefield. I do have some rallying Thunders here, and he does have some guns trying to shoot, but here we go. Now I finally mucked them up. Yes, I'm not going to win that fight, but now I have all my troops where they need to be. They're sort of messing up his his range, but they've used almost all of their ammo, and it's a little bit too little too late. You know, it's funny how you got to think about your engagements. I was trying to be cute, trying to apply what I've learned in the last little while, and it just was a disastrous for the front line. But now I have my gyrocopters. I'm taking shot at his prince. I do have some rallying thunders. I've gotten rid of these Lyrian Reavers, and his Mage of Life. I'm going to take one of the gyrocopters and chase that Mage of Life off. Make sure it routes completely and is off the battlefield. No more heals for you, Mr. Dragon Prince. And now I can focus in on that Dragon Prince and get my gyrocopter shooting. He doesn't have any range left because he's basically used almost all his shells. The Illyrian Reavers here, I do have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin to slow them down. They are coming after these guys, so unfortunately they do get a good charge. I get some shots back. I do believe I have these guys shooting, so I'm trying to finish off these Illyrian Reavers. Like, I could have finished them off so much earlier. Now these gyrocopters shooting at them. Finally they're gonna rout, and now I gotta take them, escort them off the field, make sure this gyrocopter watches them all the way home, and we keep these guys fighting. He's actually focused on my Rune Lord with his dragon and kicking the crap out of my Rune Lord, down to 53 health. He's gonna chase him off the field. I do still have my gyrocopter shooting in on the prince and just slowly ticking away that damage. I am using this runesmith to push these guys away, and I will use these troops to get involved over here. He still has some white lions, and you know, he's gonna have no problem escorting my Rune Lord off the field. And unfortunately, I think right there, oh, maybe not. I thought he killed my Rune Lord. Maybe I missed it. Oh yeah, okay, well, oh, he comes in for a charge, and boom. I think that might be it. Nope. That Rune Lord is so awesome. So we're gonna just continue shooting at him, and I don't know if I was sure he killed him, but maybe I was wrong. We still got this fight going on over here, and this is sort of the main bastion of the last remaining troops. Here's where Dowie troops are really, really good. Yeah, okay, there he goes, and there he goes. Kills my lord way back there. Here's where Dowie troops are really good, though. I got what I have left in this pocket, and we're just going ahead and slowly whittling him down. His white lions have routed. I'm going to send my runesmith after this guy, and I have him surrounded with these guys. Everything's actually wavering on the whole field pretty much, both him and me, but we're starting to really gain on the balance of power, and we're still shooting in on that prince with our thunders and taking off some health. He does have Rune of Wrath and Ruin on him to slow him down, and we're really starting to shoot up the balance of power now. These guys are hanging a licking on these archers, and my runesmith is hanging a licking on these archers, and the prince is trying to get over to get some damage in, but we are still shooting him, and there goes the rout. Shattered. So that was the fight, and oh man, let me tell you, that was really struggled. It was fun. I enjoyed the game because I was playing against someone sort of about my capability and abilities on the field. I wasn't playing against someone who didn't know the game, or playing against someone who's sort of like top 100 and absolutely crushing to play against. So my opponent made some mistakes, but obviously I made some pretty big mistakes too. And really, what does this show? I don't know about the build. The gyrocopters took so much of my limited micro ability to manage. I literally had 3 units that barely fought, and you're constantly having to make decisions with them, and having 4 is really difficult. I mean, I think I might keep playing with the concept. I definitely like 1. Well, 1 for sure is something I can handle, and that comes directly from Umaze and watching him play in his style. But the 4 is really extremely difficult. But the High Elves are really tough to play against because they can bring so many different kind of builds. Like the build, if you watched my match with Wyvern, I mean, he brought a really heavy ground pounding force. 5 White Lions, 3 Swordmasters, I think, something like that. And it just walked over my army. This was literally what happened. He just walked right over my entire army. And now we have this, which is only has 3 white lions, and it was a real struggle. I had the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, the Illyrian Reavers, and the Dragon, and the Archers. It was a difficult build to deal with, and particularly for me, but we got it done, but just barely. So how did we do? Rune Lord 31 kills, Runesmith 60 kills, which is pretty amazing for a Runesmith. 45 for this guy, 338 and 0 for my miners, 17, 83, 41, 32 and 12 for my Dwarf Warriors. Really, my Thunders were focused down hard. 33, 21, 12, 16, and 20, but they're the ones that won it for me at the end by getting that Prince. That Prince gets by with no Thunder shots and gets right into my Runesmith. He kills my Runesmith. The Gyrocopters with the Brimstone guns, man, I like them. I'm getting more and more to like gyros, but just the 4 of them are so hard to deal with. But 17, 34, 3, and 3. Had I kept on those Illyrian Reavers, I mean, this one group got 0 because I crushed them in the beginning. Had I kept on these other 3, that's 22, 38, and 45 kills. That would have been almost nothing. For his Prince, 63 kills. Mage of Life, 56 kills. 7, 61, and 107 for his White Lions of Trace. Archers, 25, 32, 34, and 51. Archers are they're decent in this matchup because they can just put pressure on various areas. Maybe they're not that good, but only for 475, I don't think they're too bad. The Illyrian Reavers, 22, 0, 38, and 45. I really could have done better, but 35, 38, and 67 with that Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. I mean, I think they're worth 700. They all paid for themselves, I think, because they're killing Thunders that are worth 700. So really, 3 of them killed, we're going to call it 60, 2 groups of Thunders, essentially. At least routed off 2 full groups of Thunders and did some more damage. Maybe that didn't. I don't know. It was close. It was close. Anyways, would love to hear from you. How have your games against the High Elves been going? If you have been playing some, I'm sure you are counterpicked with the High Elves from time to time. They seem to be a faction that's difficult to deal with for the Dao-E. Or do you play the High Elves yourself? So what kind of build do you like to bring? Do you like to bring builds that are really heavy infantry? Do you like to bring builds that are like this, that have a heavy ranged and skirmish component? What is your thoughts on the matchup as a whole? I'd love to hear from you. Hope you found it interesting, and I will see you soon.